All right, welcome to Common Sense Unleashed. Boy, have we got a lot to cover today, and this is good stuff. Elon Musk, yesterday I think it was in the Oval Office with President Trump and just explained a lot of stuff. And we're going to work our way through that. We're going to talk about that. And I'll tell you what, there's such the Democrats out there, which it's a shame. That was a great party around the time of Kennedy, innovative, forward thinking, and now what you're seeing is quite possibly the worst version of that party that's ever existed. Complete stupidity, incompetence, egotistical people, and really out of date people. You got the likes of Chuck Schumer, Elizabeth Warren, gosh, Alexandria Cortez, and man, I mean, it just keeps on going with just the level of incompetence that I'm truly astounded how they have been able to be elected. How they're elected to an office is crazy. So we're going to start. But first off, there's so many questions from all those Democrats, and they're just unleashing such hatred towards Elon Musk. This guy, you have to understand. I mean, he's the richest man in the world. In 2016, I'm sorry, 2020, he voted for Joe Biden. He was not a Trump supporter until the assassination attempt in Pennsylvania. I mean, they are literally trying to devour someone who was literally on their side for years. And then he started to see and understand that, wait a second, something's not right. This guy, and he wants your personal information. That's wrong. The guy, think about it, he owns Tesla. They have millions of people's personal information and payment information. Do you honestly think that's what he's after? I mean, it's total stupidity what they're arguing and what they're crying about. Let's talk. Speaking of, let's listen to this. This is one of the most incompetent people I've ever seen. And notice how she uses the lower word like. She uses that in her description of Elon Musk. This is the infamous take this Alexandria Cortez made on Elon Musk a few days ago. Here we go.
First and foremost, understand that there is already a federal agency who is a watchdog on waste in the United States. That is known as the Government Accountability Office.
Okay, let's just look at that real quick, AOC. The Government Accountability Office is founded in 1921. This is on Wikipedia. I want you to see who it's made up of here. The Comptroller General is appointed by the president, and then the commission that runs it consists of the Speaker of the House, the President of the Senate, the House of Representatives, a majority and minority leaders of the House of Representatives, the chair ranking member of the House Committee on Oversight, the ranking member on it's bureaucrats. It's been around 100 years, and let's dig a little deeper, AOC, since you seem to think you know everything, which you don't. Let's go to the GAO website. Here, look at here. The first sentence I want you all to see. Can you see this? Let's see if we can maneuver this a little bit better. So here we go. Let's get it right there. And all right. The GAO provides heads of executive agencies and public with timely, fact-based, nonpartisan information that can be used. Listen to that. All they do is provide information that can be used to improve government and save taxpayers billions of dollars. Doesn't say that it is used. It says, it can be used. It can be. It is literally it does nothing. The GAO does nothing. So AOC is a complete idiot. Let's get back to listening to what she said.
So all of these people acting like, we're going to set up an agency to identify waste, as though that's never been an idea before, take a number. These people, and I can tell you, in my experience, I have encountered many billionaires in my career. You all have seen many of those encounters in hearings, in other, forms of questioning, etc. I can tell you that this dude is probably one of the most unintelligent billionaires I have ever met or seen or witnessed. Which, you can probably even glean that from watching these people on TV.
Oh, you got to be take a number in true government form. She says, take a number. How many times have you been to DMV or any government office and you have to take a number? Remember those days? That's who's been elected. That's who they elected that district. I'm still astounded by that, folks. You've got to do better. Let's get into what Elon Musk says. And here we go. Let's roll it.
Which is the bureaucracy, which has, in a lot of ways, currently more power than any elected representative. And this is not something that people want, and it's not. It does not match the will of people. So it's just something we've got to fix. And then we've also got to address the deficit. So we've got a $2 trillion deficit, and if we don't do something about this deficit, the country's going bankrupt. I mean, it's really astounding that the interest payments alone on the national debt exceed the Defense Department budget, which is shocking because we spend a lot of money on defense, but if that just keeps going, we're essentially going to bankrupt the country. So
AOC, your other government agency, the government agency, whatever it is, they have done nothing. Take a number, AOC, because you're doing nothing. You absolutely are pointless in that position. Elon does he sound like he's unintelligent? What AOC said. Does he sound that way? Absolutely opposite of that. Let's keep on going.
What I really want to say is, like, it's not optional for us to reduce the federal expenses. It's essential. It's essential for America to remain solvent as a country, and it's essential for America to have the resources necessary to provide things to its citizens and not simply be servicing vast amounts of debt.
And also, could you mention some of the things that your team has found, some of the crazy numbers, including the woman that walked away with about 30 million?
Right.
Etc.
Well, we do find it sort of rather odd that there are quite a few people in the bureaucracy who have ostensibly a salary of a few $100,000, but somehow manage to accrue tens of millions of dollars in net worth while they are in that position, which is, what happened at USAID. We're just curious as to where it came from. Maybe they're very good at investing, in which case we should take their investment advice, perhaps. But there seems to be mysteriously they get wealthy. We don't know why. Where does it come from? And I think the reality is that they're getting wealthy at taxpayer expense. That's the.
And now you know why AOC says he's unintelligent, because he's hitting on truth. By the way, his son is absolutely the cutest thing. Look at him in his little trench coat there. And of course, Trump is just being cool and just kind of just watching, just making sure he doesn't tear the drapes down or something. But, credit to Trump for just bringing. When's the last time you have seen this presentation where somebody's in the Oval Office that's not an elected official, but is by and large the best expert in this given field on the planet? Elon Musk running a business. I mean, when's the last time you've seen that? You haven't. And you probably won't again. Unless, Lord willing, we were able to have, another president after Trump that's more conservative and that does things like this. But this is astounding. What you're seeing is history being made. I mean, I can't help think, but 20 years from now, they're going to say, hey, where's this little guy at in the picture? Well, who is he now? What's he doing now? He's probably going to be running one of his dad's businesses. Might even be in space. Who knows? But all right, let's get back to Elon.
That's the honest truth of it. So, we're looking at, if you look at, say, Treasury, for example, basic controls that should be in place, that are in place in any company, such as making sure that any given payment has a payment categorization code, that there is a comment field that describes the payment, and that if a payment is on the do not pay list, that you don't actually pay it. None of those things are true currently. So the reason that departments can't pass audits is because the payments don't have a categorization code. It's like just a massive number of blank checks just flying out the building. So you can't reconcile blank checks. You've got comment fields that are also blank, so you don't know why the payment was made.
Did you hear that? A massive amount of blank checks are flying out. They don't even know what they're for. They don't have memos on them, nothing. They can't figure out what the money is for. Man, oh man, oh man.
Right. And then we've got this truly absurd, a do not pay list, which can take up to a year for an organization to get on a do not pay list. And this, we're talking about terrorist organizations, we're talking about known fraudsters, known aspects of waste, known things that do not match any congressional appropriation. It can take up to a year to get on the list, and even once on the list is not used. It's mind-blowing. So what we're talking about here, we're really just talking about adding common sense controls that should be present, that haven't been present. So you say, like, well, how could such a thing arise? That seems crazy. When you understand that really everything is geared towards complaint minimization, so then you understand the motivations. So if people receive money, they don't complain, obviously. But if people don't receive money, they do complain. And the fraudsters complain the loudest and the fastest. So then when you understand that, then it makes sense. Oh, that's why everything they approve all the payments at Treasury. Because if you approve all the payments, you don't get complaints. But now we're saying that, no, actually, we are going to complain. If money is spent badly, if your taxpayer dollars are not spent in a sensible and frugal manner, then that's not okay. Your tax dollars need to be spent wisely on things that matter to the people.
Oh my goodness. Can it get any more transparent and clear as that? Your taxpayer dollars should be spent on things that you get the most benefit from. Unbelievable. And the Democrats are out there complaining about Elon Musk, trying to vilify him into something that he's not, because they don't like what he's doing. It's true ignorance at its finest. When you don't understand something, you try to destroy it. When you don't have an open mind about something, you bad talk it, you destroy it. And that's what they're doing. It's unbelievable. Let's get back to it and see.
I mean, these things, like, it's just common sense. It's not draconian or radical. I think it's really just saying, let's look at each of these expenditures and say, is this actually in the best interest of the people? And if it is, it's approved. If it's not, we should think about it. So, there's crazy things like just cursory examination of Social Security, and we've got people in there that are 150 years old. Now, do you know anyone who's 150? I don't. Okay. They should be on the Guinness Book of World Records. They're missing out. So, that's the case where, like.
Well, the Bible says that our days would be numbered to no more than 120. So there's no 150-year-olds, but they're still getting money. The more that this gets uncovered, the more talk and rhetoric you'll hear from the Democrats, who are they've lost all credibility, and they should. Young people out there who may be listening, or wherever you're at, open your minds and see what's going on. Truth, you can't deny truth.
Like, I think they're probably dead. It's my guess. Or they should be very famous, one of the two. And then there's a whole bunch of Social Security payments where there's no identifying information. Well, like, why is there no identifying information? Obviously, we want to make sure that people who deserve to receive Social Security do receive it, and that they receive it quickly and accurately. I'll tell you another crazy thing. So, one of the things is, like, we are trying to sort of right-size the federal bureaucracy, just make sure that this. Obviously, there need to be a lot of people working for the federal government, but not as many as currently. So we're saying, well, okay, let's, if people can.
This is what Ivy League universities use.
Sorry about the ad, but we'll roll with it here.
Can get into with a 3.6 GPA.
90%
do. And I checked frequently with the president to make sure that this is what the president wants to have happen. So we talk almost every day, and I double check things to make sure, is this something, Mr. President, you want us to do this? Then we'll do it.
USAID has been one of your main targets. Are you concerned at all that some of the cuts or that shutting that agency altogether may lead to diseases or other bigger problems starting in other countries that then come to the United States?
Yeah, so that's an interesting example. So that's something where we work closely with the State Department and Secretary Rubio. And we have, for example, turned on funding for Ebola prevention and for HIV prevention.
Left that, you said?
Yes, correct. And we are moving fast, so we will make mistakes, but we'll also fix the mistakes very quickly. So,
do you see it as a worthy cause, USAID?
I think that there are some worthy things, but overall, if you say what was the bang for the buck, I would say it was not very good. And there was far too much of what USAID was doing was influencing elections in ways that I think were dubious and do not stand the light of day.
I can just ask a follow-up to the Pentagon contracts. If you have received billions of dollars in contracts from the Pentagon, and the president's directing you to look into the Department of Defense, is that
which we
a
definitely
conflict
need
of
to do and
interest?
are going to do at the president's request.
Does that present a conflict of interest for you?
No, because you'd have to look at the individual contract and say, first of all, I'm not the one, filing the contract. It's people at SpaceX or someone who will be putting for the contract. And I'd like to say, if you see any contract where where it was awarded to SpaceX and it wasn't by far the best value for money for the taxpayer, let me know, because every one of them was.
The president said.
He just said, look, if you find a contract that SpaceX got that's not the best value that you'll ever find, let me know. And going back to AOC's idiotic comments, she has no idea what she's talking about. This guy's leagues above her pay scale and her brain level. And it just shows you how horrible the Democratic side has shrunk to. It's basically evil. Basically evil. Here we go.
The other day that you might look at treasuries. Could you explain that a little bit? What kind of fraud, and that question goes to both of you, what kind of fraud are you expecting to see or do you see right now in U.S. treasuries?
Yeah, I think you mean the Treasury Department as opposed to Treasury bills. Or
You also referenced treasuries on Air Force One the other night.
Go ahead.
well, as I mentioned earlier, really the first order of business is to make sure we're actually collecting. Sorry for this. I thought my son might enjoy this, but he's sticking his fingers in my ears and stuff. So it's a bit hard to hear sometimes. Hey, stop that. No, the stuff we're doing with Treasury Department is so basic that you can't believe it doesn't exist already. So for example, like I mentioned, just making sure that when a payment goes out, it has to have a payment categorization code. It's like, what type of payment is this? You can't just leave the field blank. Currently, many payments, the field is left blank. And you have to describe what's the payment for, some basic rationalization. That also is left blank. So this is why, the Pentagon, when's the last time the Pentagon passed an audit? I mean, a decade ago, maybe? Ever? Really? And we want to just, in order to actually pass audits, you have to have financial information that allows you to trace the payments. And once in a while, the Treasury has to pause payments if it thinks the payment is going to a fraudulent organization.
All right, so we'll end it there. But again, just wanted to show you a little bit of that interview, and I mean, it's straightforward. The guy's just there donating his time to do that. And man, I hope he continues to uncover all
If
the
you want to
junk
get your
that these
name,
idiots.
phone number, and address off the internet, but want to
I just
handle the
sorry
removal
about that. Hope that he's hopefully uncovers more. All right, man. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good one.